Hey everybody, this is the 430 square foot cabin I built by myself, and I was going to do a video today on, a breakdown of costs. So what it cost me to build, this, specifics, and then do like a big picture one, how much it costs for the land, septic, all that. So I thought it would, be helpful to people because when I did this myself, I had no idea of, what it was going to cost for certain things. So I just guessed at everything, and it was, I guess, 24,000 to build this, and it was really 34,000. So that was quite a bit off. So hopefully this video will help out some people in the planning process. Now, in certain things, size does matter. So when you're planning this out, things like permit costs, permits are all based on square footage and how much they think your place is going to be worth. So your permit cost could be quite a bit different. So the government is going to get its cut of your house before it starts charging you yearly rent through property taxes. But so they're going to get their cut. So keep that in mind. Also, if you get engineering done, that's also based on square footage, and so that could, change a lot too. When I got engineers, some were like 1,600 and some were 800, so it was like a huge range, so you really have to look around. But hopefully you won't even need engineering. I just needed engineering here for the snow, because this thing is designed for 381 pounds per square foot of snow on the roof, which is astronomical. It's like 10 feet. So if you could just picture a 400-pound man or woman standing on every square foot of that roof, that's what it could hold. So it's kind of crazy. But again, if you don't have weird conditions, you might not even need an engineer, but you would still, of course, have to know how to nail everything together to meet codes and stuff like that. The nice thing with the engineer, they tell you, what kind of connections to use, what kind of screws, all that. So it made things a little easier. And some things won't be way more. Like if I built a 400 square foot house, if you're building an 800 square foot one, it's not going to like double in price, because really you probably got the same number of windows, the same number of doors, one porch coming out. So you have to keep that in mind, that it's not going to, double the cost if you build bigger, but it might double the cost of something like permits. Oh, and to take a little sidetrack here, for those of you that watched all my building videos on this thing, how to build this thing, I was always trying to get out of here before November, or right at November, and now it's November 7th, and this is why I was always trying to get out of here early. I had a 2-wheel drive car, and luckily I got a 4-wheel drive now with snow tires on it, and otherwise there's no way I could have even got to the mailbox down the road. It's like all this snow is actually just from yesterday too. We had snow before, it all melted, and then just since like 4 o'clock yesterday it started snowing again. And so yeah, this is the road to my mailbox. It's about a half mile down the road there. So yeah, you can't live without 4-wheel drive here, I don't think. Boy, it is very peaceful and nice up here, though. There's like zero traffic, you can hear the snow falling. It's so quiet. But yeah, nice and peaceful up here. Although I just went in like 2 days ago and bought a snow shovel and snow boots. I was like, I don't think my tennis shoes are cutting it up here anymore. All right, I'm going inside now. I'll get on the computer, show you some of these cost breakdowns. Okay, so this is the breakdown of the total cost. Right here is the most expensive piece, which is the land. $35,000 for an acre near Crescent Lake, Oregon. This is actually, I bought this about 4 or 5 years ago. So now it's more like, I would say 85, 95,000. So that might change a lot for you, depending on your land costs. These are your two other costs that really, I mean, if you think the land, septic, and water are really half your costs, you really got to look into these two. This septic is just a basic septic system. It only costs, 8,000, but of course permit fees in there too. But so that could change a lot. If you needed a sand filter or something, this could be more like, 25, 30,000. So it really depends on the type of septic you need. And my well here is only like 20 feet deep. So here it's really cheap to have one done with a backhoe. But if, I know people in the valley in Oregon that paid 25,000 for a well, and that you could have a well 200, 300 feet deep. So I mean, if your well is deep, you're going to have a lot of costs right here. So these are really important to figure out first. Um, the house itself only costs 34,000. It's pretty cheap. Um, see that this is an electric company charged me 845, which was a bargain because they actually ran wire in from the road and hooked everything up. So, they probably ran 400 bucks of wire at least. This is my permits and fees right here. 5,800. That's actually 6.5% of the total cost of everything. So if you figured my land, my house, everything, the government got 6.5% right off the top. This was for the engineer. I was basically required by the permits to get engineering. So that's what that is. This is for a shed. I needed to build a shed for a well house. And so that's pretty much the total cost, 90,000. So pretty good deal. Oh, and on the permit costs, this is a breakdown. The actual building costs, this includes like, if you got like a driveway permit, for 100 bucks or something. I just lump those in here, but you can see the septic permit is way expensive, compared to just your building permit costs. All right, and now on the house, the cost to build the house. This is the design I used right here. It's 12 foot by 36 feet. And this is what kind of looks like in the inside with the kitchen, cabinets and the bathroom. You can watch my the final video building this place, and I'll show you the inside and stuff. But on this graph, I mean, this pie chart is crazy, but all the takeaway here is, I mean, this blue is my foundation, the framing, the walls, the sheathing on the outside. But you would think like once you built the house, that would be like most of the cost, but really this is 28% of your total cost of building the house. And all this other stuff really adds up. So remember that when you're building. This is a breakdown of that pie. Right here, you can see it was 9,000 to do all the foundation, framing, sheathing, all windows, all that. So it really wasn't too bad. Here you can see the electrical. Whoa, that was way more than I expected, but I mean, all the wiring and the special breakers you need nowadays, electrical is expensive. There's a vinyl siding, that stuff really sucked. So it even sucks more that it was that expensive. Here's the rest of the stuff. This insulation, I mean, it's got huge amounts of insulation in this place, and it was still only 1,600, so I wouldn't go skimping on the insulation. But I also have this broken out separately. It's like the R5 foam stuff I had to put on the outside. And, this includes all the wood I had to get to, frame all the stuff out. And so this is really, I mean, just for an R5 value, it's costing $1,000 versus the rest of the insulation in the whole house being 1,600. So this R5 was definitely, not worth it at all. Um, and here you go, the front stairway, $800 just for that little stairway out front, kind of crazy. And flooring I got pretty cheap. I think it was only 85 cents a square foot or something. So here's a breakdown of costs then. So hopefully that can help you out to plan things. Hey, there you go. That's the kind of the complete breakdown of all the costs involved in this place. But the efficiency requirements here in Oregon cost probably, I would say, about 15% more to build, based on the efficiency requirements you got to meet. But at the same time, I mean, look where I live. So in the rest of Oregon, I'd be like, wow, this is overkill. But up here, boy, it's been great. And my most expensive electric bill has been $46. And I run that heat pump all the time. I mean, my water's all on electrical. I have a septic, so my only bill up here is electrical. And so, that's a pretty good deal. And the minimum is $29. So I'm only $15 above the minimum. So I would say all this, insulation, all the stuff they require you to do, up here it works pretty good. That R5 was a pain in the butt. I wouldn't recommend, but the rest of the insulation, wow, it's been great. Then you got to think too of the end point of all this building by yourself. I mean, it's a way a lot of work. I spent, probably a quarter of the year for 4 years coming up here working on it. But this cost me 90,000, but really it's really worth probably about $230 or something now. So I really made more just coming up here, yeah, a quarter of my year working on the side than I did working a job any of those years. So I gotta say, it's definitely recommended to really build your own place. And from Crescent Lake, Oregon, aloha.